we're talking to Mikey D here on Mid-Atlantic Jams. And what was the beginning of the Mikey D journey on record? Was it the LA Posse single?
My first record, actually, it was when Jesse Jackson was running for president the very first time. I was with a group, some of my mentors, the Clientele Brothers, and they made a record called Jesse, You're Number One. And it was on Nia Records.
I remember seeing that. You see it in record stores around here from time to time.
And to this solution we have come. You better run, Jesse, run. You're number one. Show the world where you're coming from. Because Jesse Jackson is a man of peace. He says all wars will have to cease. A true civil rights leader with the antidote. Make sure you pick Jesse when it's time to vote. Because
yeah. So we were on that label and we did
Wow.
Jesse, You're Number One. Like a Run Jesse Run type of thing. And then the second single that I was on was I wrote a song for some girls called The Symbolic Three. And at this time, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick had the record The Show out. It was a successful smash. And Jerry Bloodrock, that owned Reality Records, that label came out on, that the record came out on, he wanted the answer to that song to come out on the same label. And back in those days, I was like a master of parody. I would take somebody's record and just redo it. Like I did Tila Rock's It's Yours, and I made a song called Your Drawers. And, Houdini had Big Mouth. I redid it and did Big Head, stuff like that. So when Jerry Bloodrock wanted somebody to write a song for the Show record, I wrote a song called No Show from the Symbolic Three.
well, he's back once more, better than before, making all DJs look amateur. Cause Dr. Shock is the real deal slicer. Summer kinda fresh, but he is nicer. King of the wheels of steel, a disaster. As the tables spin, his cuts get faster.
So that was my second single.
Wow, that's dope. How did you get connected with just the LA Posse?
LA Posse, well, that came about because there's two different LA Posses. One LA Posse is from Laurelton, Queens. That's my hometown.
Okay.
The other LA Posse is the LA Posse that worked with LL Cool J on his Bigger and Deffer album.
Yeah.
But we were around first. We came out before that, like maybe 2 or 3 years before that on Wax. The only thing is we didn't take care of our paperwork and all of that because we weren't too business savvy. We were just hungry young cats that didn't care. We loved the music, so we didn't care about the paperwork. And originally, the name of the crew was Boom Bash because Boom Bash was the crew that I ran with back in those days. And, Boom Bash was like a bunch of brothers from the community that took care of our community, that defended our community and protected our community without guns and bats and knives. These dudes was really on a health kick. They was, everybody lifted weights and they was physically fit and they were called Boom Bash. Now, when we got the opportunity to make records, they didn't want us to use the word Boom Bash because it sounded like a liability to the record labels. You know what I mean? It sounded too tough. So we wanted to keep our crew. So back then, you got to remember, when you ran with a whole bunch of people, it was either called your crew or your posse.
Yeah.
So we said we're going to use Posse, and we're from Laurelton. Anybody in Queens that knows Laurelton will say, yeah, that's L.A. It's either L-Town or it's L.A. L.A. Queens, that's Laurelton. So we was like, L.A. Posse. That's going to be the name of the crew. And then the label also wanted, because I was already popping in the streets with my cassettes and, doing battles, and my street credibility was up. They wanted to highlight my name. You know what I mean? So it was Mikey D and the LA Posse. That's how that came about.
Bet. And who are you battling in the streets at this time? We already know like LL, but like who else?
Well, technically, LL and I never.
Oh, y'all never battled? Okay.
We never battled. We were a team. We were Batman and Batman.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
we never really battled. although we went our separate ways, it was ego versus pride, you know, that's what that was about. But we never battled each other, but we would tear other crews apart.
Yeah.
Um, but I did battle Cool G Rap one time, you know what I mean? And that went pretty well. He always says that I got the edge on him, but I believe it was a tie because I definitely underestimated his skill. And that was dope. But other than that, man, I mean, I battled any and everybody. Whoever was out there, I was coming for them. That was my thing, man. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And I was gonna to fast forward to the day because for those who know, you're definitely still going. You just dropped the joint Day of Destruction. It definitely goes for a piece of change now on Discogs, but it definitely shows you evolving as an MC because on one of the songs you're like, I don't I don't burn weed, I burn adrenaline on that joint. And explain just the listeners how just your sobriety it can just be like a it can kind of just be like that fire that fuels you to do what you do.
Well, my sobriety definitely makes me see things clearer. It also makes me see things for what they are. Hip hop has always been a therapeutic tool for me. I
Yeah.
write through my pain, I write through my happiness, and being like when I used to drink the 40 ounces, I used to just write anything because it sounded ill. Back then, it was like I wanted to just write the most disrespectful stuff and the most arrogant and just disgusted. You know what I mean? That's who I wanted to be. When I was drunk, I would be like, yo, that sounds so ill. But then when I got sober, I had to take into mind that there's a younger audience that's listening.
Yeah.
I used to have my daughter running around with me when she was 2 and 3 years old, and she was rapping. So, now I got a grandson. It's stuff like that where I had to show some maturity. But sometimes you have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So sometimes I just got to remind people of who I am because although I'm humble now, that beast still lives inside of me. So, the maturity it shows in my penmanship, but I can go there if I really wanted to. And I could be sober while I do it.
Yeah, you were just talking about how like on that one song Off My Chest, how like just you drinking, just drinking the 40s, it kind of just like just blocked some of your opportunities just back then. But also though on this Day of Destruction Returns, this song Without Breaking It Down, you're pretty much talking about like what's now considered because we had this new term out called adult contemporary hip hop. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's what you were doing on that joint. It's like an upbeat tempo song, but you're also talking about how like I sound just as good as I did then now. So
Sirius XM. Pumping all the tunes we used to pump back then. One of my songs come on, I'm like, this the shit. You would think that was my prime. Nah, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that album, Day of Destruction, I actually did that in 2016.
okay.
It was up, and then I pulled it down, and then I put it up again on my own distribution company. That's why it's called Day of Destruction Returns in 2021. But
Okay.
2025, I got a special treat for y'all, boy. Wait till y'all hear this Poppin' Kim album.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
Yo, can you give us some details about it?
Absolutely, man. So Poppin' Kim is basically, let's say it's a mature me, right? But it's the Mikey D of 87 and 88 energy. It's that aggression, you know what I mean? That lyrical aggression with boom bap beats, you know what I mean? I have a brother named Amadeus
Yo, I saw
360.
I just listened to the cut that y'all did. Like I'll pull it up right now, but I just listened to one of the cuts that y'all did. It was
Keep them
super dope.
keep them shook.
It might be Keep 'em Shook, yeah.
Yeah, that's out on all platforms right now.
Yeah, that's dope. But you said he's gonna be on the album?
Well, he produced that track. That's on the album. The other song that's out right now is Legends Don't Die, produced by Lot Picasso. That's
Okay.
out. But I have producers like Dr. Butcher is on my album. Herb Middleton is on my album. C4, who did Put It in Your Mouth, he did a track that features the legend DMC. Me and him did a joint called Hip Hop Kids, man. Fire. I
Okay.
got Bumpy Knuckles on my album.
Oh, that's about to be
You
dope.
know what I mean? Who else? I got my man BX Pito. I got Lot Picasso on there. I got music from Phantom of the Beat. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, Supreme. I want to say Supreme Clientele fame. He did some stuff on
Yeah,
Supreme
yeah.
Clientele. Yeah.
And he actually was a Haas G from the UMCs first.
Okay. The joint I'm talking about is Offensive File.
What's that?
You had
Oh, offensive foul.
yeah, yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
listening to. That's what I was listening to earlier. Yeah.
that right there is on uh Divine Divine Karma.
Yeah, yeah,
Divine,
yeah, yeah, his joint, yeah. We
yeah,
play his
that's
stuff, some
that's
of his
that's
stuff
on
down
his
here.
album. Yeah, I did a
Yeah,
feature on there.
Guardians of the Boom Bap.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I did it. Well, if you look on Spotify or whatever and type in Mikey D, keep them shook. That's the one that Amadeus produced for me.
Okay, all right,
So the
bet.
one you got there, that was a collab that I did with Divine
Yeah,
on
yeah,
his
yeah.
album. Yeah, man.
Bet. Yeah, that's what's up, yo. We're talking to Mikey D here on Mid Atlantic Jams. And I was gonna ask you, yo, I definitely gotta ask you about how did you get involved with this project right here back in the
Well,
day? Because I totally feel like it's a slept on project from that era. Also spawned some MCs of the next generation. How did you get involved with this second main source album?
well, the second main source album, I got to give thanks to my brother Jeff Redd, the legendary R&B singer Jeff Redd.
Yeah,
Because
Uptown Records.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was hanging out with his cousin Mike Beasley at Hush Productions. They got a cousin named Bo Higgins that used to own that company. I would just hang out there and freestyle and stuff like that. One day Jeff Redd came through and he heard me freestyle and was like, yo, you nice, man. But what y'all doing? Mike Beasley, what y'all doing, cuz, with this guy? He was, I'm like, yo, I'm here, man, whatever. And he actually told us that he knew a group that was already established and they were looking for a front man to do the rapping. He didn't tell me the name of the group or nothing. He just gave us a number and an address, told us to call the number and be there tomorrow, and he's going to make this happen. So we like, all right, cool. Next day, me and Mike Beasley go over there, knock on the door, whatever, call her, blah, blah. Young lady named Tandy Weems opened the door. Tandy Weems then brings out Sean McKenzie. Now, he didn't introduce himself as Sean McKenzie. That's Sir Scratch from Main Source. His
Yeah.
name was Scratch, and I didn't put two and two together yet. I just said he looked a little familiar, but I didn't put two and two together. Then he asked me, bust some rhymes or whatever. Jeff, told us about you, whatever the case may be, or Tandy. So I rhymed. Scratch was impressed. So Scratch said, let me call my brother, because he's a part of this group too. He's in Toronto. So he put me on the phone, and his brother's name is K Cut. I'm like, K Cut, Sir Scratch, K Cut. Oh, that's easy. He's the main source dudes. Okay, all right, So when I found out who they were, I didn't know Large Professor moved on to pursue a solo career.
Yeah.
So, I thought I was just going to be one of the guys down with the crew, like the Nas's and all of them. You know what I mean? I didn't have a clue that I was going to take the reins and I'm stepping into the shoes of Large Pro. Like, that's crazy to me. You feel me? Because we are two different caliber MCs. That guy right there is very talented, and I'm just raw and gritty, but it actually worked.
Yeah.
They brought me out to Toronto to do the recordings and all of that, but I felt a little out of place. I was like a lion out of my habitat because
I bet.
it was real nice out there. I just couldn't get that vibe, that New York, the smell, everything. It was just nice down there. It was beautiful. Like I can't be too ill down here, you know.
Yeah.
And plus they wouldn't let me drink. So that was another problem that I had, you know.
Yeah.
They was looking out for me, but you know, it's all good. But then
Yeah.
Wild Pitch Records wound up bringing us back to New York, and we were recording in Platinum Island Studios, and that's when all of the fire came back. You know what I'm saying? And it was off to the races after that. Yeah, man, it
Was
was to the
was
races.
what one of my favorite just singles from that era period is What You Need.
The underground sound from the group called the main source. The underground sound from the group called the main source.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's an amazing out. There's been times where I definitely gotten up and listened to that song, like gotten out the bed and listened to that joint. Did that happen in your time in New York or Toronto?
What you need?
Yeah, to create the how when y'all made What You
Oh,
Need.
when we came back to New York, that's when
Okay.
that was created. We actually created that in Brooklyn, in their apartment in Brooklyn. It was me, K Cut, Sir Scratch, and Sha Queen, who's now known as Ma Barker, sitting around the drum machine, just vibing, like, you know, because
Oh wow.
I was put under a lot of pressure at that time because I stepped into a situation that was already established, like we said earlier, and these guys had a timeline to deliver that second album. So I stepped into that when they were already in the process of having to get this album done. So it was extra pressure on me, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely turned out very well. I feel like also a slept on single in just hip hop history, but it does big numbers on YouTube though, from what I saw. How did y'all feel, or when did y'all get wind that Madonna wanted to kind of like flip it? Because then she end up flipping that y'all's version of it.
She flipped it. And it's crazy because Sir Scratch remembers when she came to the studio and she first heard the song. I probably was drinking because I
Wow,
don't
Madonna
remember.
came to the studio.
Madonna was, because like I said, we were in Platinum Island or Platinum something recording. There's several studios in this music building. And she was right next door. So her and her assistant, Scratch, said they came in there and they was talking about the music and how much she enjoyed that music. Said she had a hoodie on and the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, word? Madonna was in here? That's crazy. Where's she
Yeah.
at?
It does sound like a song that could do great justice with like some R&B instrumentals, kind of like that Smith and Wesson song. This is how we do, and how Mary would
Right?
flip that like earlier on. Like it's funny because when this album was released, when What You Need was released, I was born in '87, so I
Okay.
was like 6 or 7 when the album came out, so I couldn't fully absorb it. I had to go back. The first time I saw it was when I want to say Wild Pitch was doing re-releases of
Yeah.
the albums, and I saw it in the source. They had advertisements for the album, but I heard the Madonna version first. And then when I heard y'all's version, I was like, what? And then of course I listened to y'all's version a lot more like now. But yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. It would have been, I think that album would have really went if we wouldn't have got into the altercation with the label. You know what I mean? So things went left at the label. I don't have a still to this day, I don't know what transpired between Wild Pitch and Main Source because I was never signed to Wild Pitch. I was signed to the Main Source Publishing company. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
when things popped off that day, I don't know what that was about, but I know what my beef was about. You know, so it was crazy. It was crazy. So if we would have stayed with the label, I believe that it would have been a lot more promotion and things like that. But as soon as the album was done and the single was out doing well, we had the press release and then this altercation happened and you know everything went left from there, you know. So, you know, things happen, man, and you know, I'm still grateful for where it brought us, you know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
know, some things happen, man.
A Young Warlocks was on the album too.
Jada Kiss and Chic Luch. I remember going to Yonkers and hearing them in
How
somebody's
did y'all even
basement.
find out about them in Yonkers? Like, cause y'all were in like just like a different boroughs.
Yeah, but somebody gave us a call, said they knew these dudes that were pretty nice and wanted us to pop up at their studio and listen to them. I remember going out there into a basement, and Sheik was already there. We was waiting on Jada, you know what I mean? And when they showed up, and we just me and those two, we just compared notes, you know what I mean? Just rhymed in a cipher, and I loved them from the moment that I heard them. You know, I was like, these dudes is young, they're hungry, and they're street. They're lyrical, but their lyrics are so street. Like we can't deny them. I was like, hell yeah, let's work, man. Let's work. Let's put them on this album.
For sure. And I was gonna ask you too about your Queens brethren, LL Cool J. What's your favorite LL album? And then I'll tell you mine.
I don't really have a favorite LL album. I love everything he does, like because he's so creative. You feel me?
Yeah.
Even when people think he misses, he still hits. Because I'm lyrical and I know him personally. So even when he's experimenting, I'm like, yeah, they didn't catch that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's so far ahead. You know, so when he's experimenting, people think that it's corny, but no, he's just far ahead. So I really don't have any favorites of his. I love all of his work.
Yeah, and also, yo, I tell you what my favorite album of LL because I definitely been following LL for just over like yeah, two mo definitely shorter than others, but definitely over 2 decades. I think The Force might the newest one with Q-Tip.
Oh yeah,
Might be my favorite like LO album because it just shows just how much he's grown and just cohesively. I feel like yeah, it's got like it's like your music like just up tempo, just like positivity but still smash mouth.
yeah,
So
he got it. He definitely got it. That's why I don't understand why people try to put a cap on the age limit in hip hop because man, we still got it. Like we can still go. You feel me? We don't have to make music that the younger generation are doing because the music that they make is for them to understand and for them to enjoy.
yeah.
We can make music for the parents, and there are people of our age group that still appreciate the hip hop that we do. So there should never be an age limit,
Yeah.
you know.
And the crazy thing is too, like I feel like if you do it raw and real enough, the younger people I would say from 20 to 30 will attach to it too as well. I just did down here a one of the MCs who is super cool with the show, Zuri. We just did a park jam down at Monroe Park here in Richmond, and they actually had me on the vinyl. Like I was cutting like Common the Food and like Scarface like
Yeah.
instrumentals and they were freestyling over it. So like cats will still get busy out here.
Yo, I wish I was there, man. That they call me a Park Jam legend, man, because that's where I was raised from. I started out doing basement party. Well, I started out doing cassette tapes, and
Yeah,
then I started doing basement parties, and then I graduated to Park Jams. I still go to a nice Park Jam every year. I have to.
yeah. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. What you got coming up next? I know we were talking just about a couple of singles that you're about to release. You are in I would say in some words right now. I feel like with in the middle of a on record battle right now. But what else you got popping right now?
Well, the thing with MC Search that's over. It's water under the bridge now. The only reason I responded um,
That's
on
good.
on a rhyme is because, like I said, this is therapeutic to me. If I would have, because he went on a platform, he said some things that weren't true, all I wanted him to do was just clean that up. And you know what I mean? Whatever. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to acknowledge it. He didn't want to take accountability. So I got upset. I got in my feelings. And then that Mikey destruction came out. The only way that I know how to respond to that without turning to the street is to write out my frustration. So that's what you hear on that particular song. But as far as I'm concerned, it's over. He said what he said. I did what I did. There's no need for any apologies or anything. If he makes I expect him to respond, but I respect him still if he doesn't. It's all good. I'm over it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But besides that, November, I plan on dropping this brand new Pop and Kim album. It's called Pop and Kim Legends Don't Die.
Okay.
We're dropping it on vinyl, we're dropping it on stream. But what I'm doing different is I'm dropping it on a label called Cool Cat Records out of Finland because I felt that the rap game in the US is all in one big gumbo pot. You
Yeah.
know, I love some music. I hate some of the music, but I don't want to be mixed in with all of that because it's hard to get out of that. You feel
Yeah,
me?
and people do throw the argument out there that there's much more enthusiasm when it comes to the authentic hip hop, like overseas,
Yeah,
like right
because
now.
what it is they still respect and appreciate the real culture of hip hop. It's not about being a rock star and all of this money and all of this flash, glitz, and glamour. It's about the actual culture. They love the way we talk. They love the way we walk. They love the way we dress. They respect the creativity and the artistry of hip hop, all aspects of it. And that's why I felt that I can shoot them a gift because my whole career overseas has been holding me down, you know. So I felt that with this album, I should give them a gift and let them release it over there and let it work its way back home. You know what I'm saying? Because people home, they get me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm accessible. Like I'm right here, you know, but over there, they don't get Mikey D all the time, man. And they respect Mikey D. So I had to give them something to show them my appreciation.
Yeah, for sure. And who are some of the MCs in just the NYC area, like of the I would say like that were born in like 95 or 94, like some of the like younger era. Who are you who is on your radar right now?
Man, well, I got cats like JoJo Pellegrino
Okay.
inspires me. My brother RJ Payne, he
Yeah.
inspires me. My brother Lot Picasso inspires me. Um, damn,
You just had Chris Rivers. You had Chris Rivers on
Chris is my man. I
yeah.
love him. I love Chris and his dad, man. But Chris, he came out and he found his own lane, like out of his
Yeah.
father's shadow. And I love how he did that, man. I love Chris, man. But with me, I respect everybody, man. Everybody inspires me. I'm proud of everybody. Um, and I don't like that's why I don't have a top five. My top five is a biased top five based off of influence that they have on me.
Yeah. Who was
And
your
that
top?
was,
Go ahead. Go ahead. You're about to
oh
say.
yeah, Grandmaster Cass, Kumo D, Eddie OJ, which is one of my mentors of the Clientele Brothers, Will Seville, which is another one of my mentors, and LL Cool J. These guys have influence over me. They inspired a lot of what I did. That's why they're my top five. As far as anyone else, I respect and I love everybody equally.
Yeah. Mikey D, thank you for talking to us today and looking forward to that new music that's going to be dropping in the fourth quarter of this year,
Yeah.
player.
Yes, sir, baby. We got this, man. Let's
Yeah.
go.